Welcome to Mike's Beer Channel on YouTube. Today, we're doing something a little different.
Yes, I'm excited about this one.
Today, we are trying Beaujolais Nouveau. Did I do that right without some crazy accent?
Yes, that was much better than the way you normally keep trying to say it.
Now, those of you who don't know what Beaujolais Nouveau is, it's the first wine of the season. Like, this is the 21 version, which means it doesn't spend a lot of time aging because it's from 2021. It's still 2021. It comes out every year around Thanksgiving. And apparently this year, either smaller numbers came out earlier or went faster, because I got this bottle here of Beaujolais Nouveau, Georges Duboeuf, just happened to be on a shelf at Winn-Dixie in the wrong spot.
That is the brand that we normally drink.
For, well, let's see. We've known each other since 2003.
Mm-hmm.
And we have tried it every year since then. So I was really freaking out that I wasn't going to be able to supply a bottle of Beaujolais Nouveau.
So I do have to give a shout out, kudos to a friend who actually was born in France, who introduced me to this holiday season tradition of Beaujolais Nouveau and the first grapes of the harvest, and trying it every year. I say trying it, but I usually have multiple bottles. But this year is a little tough because the multiple bottles were hard to find.
It was.
Yeah.
But we are also going to try Jean-Claude Debienne. Debienne?
I have no idea if that's pronounced right.
Debienne? I know it's Jean-Claude from Van Damme. But I don't think he's French, is he? Anyhow, it's Jean-Claude Debienne. Also has a Beaujolais Nouveau, and there was a third one. But this is the one we normally go with. But I couldn't find this one, so
Interesting fact, too, the labels every year, at least on the Georges Duboeuf, are different every year. And so if you're a collector, it would be a really cool thing to kind of collect. Although I would definitely drink the wine. It's not good with age.
No. And this is For the Love of Flowers by Felice Kite is the painting.
That is pretty.
Anyhow, we also have Jean-Claude. Now, Jean-Claude's the one I ended up getting multiple bottles of because it's the only one that place that has a total selection of wine had, because I don't know. And there's a lot of people that work in liquor stores and places that sell wine that really need to touch up their knowledge, because I can't tell you how many places I stopped at where the person, I said, I'm looking for Beaujolais Nouveau. And they're like, what? Like, have you heard of Beaujolais? Region in France, they make wine. Anyhow, let's start with Jean-Claude. They're both corked. No pressure. Our power electric corker stopped working. So we'll have to do it the hard way.
Maybe I'll get a new one for Christmas this year.
I'm still trying to figure out how I got one for Christmas.
I probably won't get a new one for Christmas this year. Yeah, that is weird. That was yours, wasn't it?
It was my gift. I don't even drink wine that often.
What was your gift so that you could take care of your wife? Yeah, see?
Now I'm going to open this one too so it can get air. And there's a good chance both of these bottles will be empty. Okay. Now, we're going to go the Jean-Claude first.
I think it's so funny how you're tilting the wine glass like you would tilt a beer glass.
What is Mike's Beer Channel? Put that one to the left.
To my left.
That's a restaurant pour for those of you scoring at home. My wife doesn't do restaurant pours. Okay, this is losing points already. The cork doesn't fit back here. This is Georges Duboeuf.
Oh, I should have brought out the Christmas corks. I don't know which box they're in.
There. Want to keep the head down to a limit.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
All right. Dogs aren't allowed to drink wine. No drinking wine. If you were a racehorse, you could have some Guinness. But okay, so we have Jean-Claude on the left, Georges on the right. Okay, so let's start with. Hang on, hang on, hold this thought. All right. Okay, we're going to start with this one. This is the Jean Claude. Very fruity. Very. I'm getting a little bit of sour. Not sour, something spicy.
Yeast. Fermenty.
Fermenty?
Mm-hmm.
The first wine of the new vintage has arrived. Time to enjoy and celebrate the harvest with this charming wine. Filled with flavorful berry notes, Beaujolais Nouveau will delight your palate. It is best served slightly chilled. We don't chill red wine in this house, but it's 74 degrees in the house, so that's close enough. Kind of very grape juicy.
Well, it always is kind of more on the fruity than the dry wine that I normally drink. So, but it's also very bubbly feeling on my tongue. I feel like there's a bunch of stuff like popping bubbles on my tongue as I drink it, which I am assuming is from the fermentation since it's still so fresh.
Well, I mean, this might be starting of a tradition with us of trying the other guys. No wine spilled.
Yay!
Boom. Okay. Now, Beaujolais Nouveau does tend to taste different every year.
Yes, it does.
It's never the same.
Like other years of other wines too, it's a vintage just depending on the grapes and the harvest. And some other liquors, right?
Yes. This actually has less smell.
Yes, it does. It smells a lot smoother. It's not like up in your sinuses.
Now this is not as I don't know how you would say it. Not as fruity. Not as. It's got a little more. It doesn't taste like grape juice as much.
I still taste the grape juice of this one, but I'm not getting that kind of bubbly sensation that I did with the other one that I didn't really enjoy. Like, I didn't expect that from wine, feeling like little stuff popping on my tongue. I really actually thought that they would taste pretty much the same.
They don't.
They don't.
Which is weird because they're made, well, I mean, they're different vineyards, but I would expect they're all the same type of grape in the same region of France.
All grown at the same time, so I mean, it's same year.
Little known fact, the edge of western New York, northwestern Pennsylvania, and northern Ohio is at the same latitude as France. That's why it's a very big wine region.
And yet most of our wine comes from California.
It's because all the wines in that area are smaller. More like mom and pop vineyards.
Like our Florida vineyards?
And yeah, in fact, I used to know, well, I guess I still know him, but his parents in northeast Pennsylvania lived right next to a house that had grapes growing. It wasn't a vineyard. It wasn't like a winemaker. They grew grapes, and the wine people would come and buy the grapes. And it's really cool to taste grapes right off the vine because they're not like the kind of grapes you buy in the store. But
what's so different about them?
They're less fruity. They're not really. They're a lot more bitter. I don't know if it's just traditional, but I think the George is better.
I do too. It's definitely smoother.
Yeah, it's nice and it's got a nice clean.
And I'm really surprised by that because I really thought I was going to think that they were pretty much the same.
Now, out of the Beaujolais we've had, now I don't remember, but I think there was one that was, I don't know, it's hard to tell because we don't have records of any of this.
No, we haven't kept track of which years were our
Beaujolais
favorite.
Nouveau, it's different every year.
And there are some years where I wish that I had a whole case.
And there's years
and other years where I'm like, well, how many bottles did we
bottles?
buy? But it seems to be that it's getting, if you don't buy it right away, then you're not going to get it. So I don't know if that's a supply chain issue with everything else that's going on in the world right now, or if it's just that it's become more popular. Maybe more people are involved in this tradition now. Maybe we shouldn't be sharing. What are you doing?
Comparing the corks.
Hmm.
They're very similar.
They are indeed.
I like this one better. The George Dubouf. This isn't bad. I mean, I could drink some of this.
No, it's not bad. I think it feels like, you know, when beer is too carbonated and you have to like stir it some to get some of the carbonation out, right. Well, so that it doesn't go like up your nose. That's kind of that feeling that I get from.
This wine was these grapes were harvested in 2021, fermented in 2021.
Yep.
And put in bottles in 2021. Normally, you would take grapes and you would normally put them in a barrel and let them ferment before you bottled them, correct?
I'm not that familiar with the process. I'm just more familiar with the drinking.
Okay. Well, I think you put it in the big barrels and let it ferment, and then you bottle it. And then a lot of wine, as you bottle it, and the longer you keep it, it's supposed to change flavor. That's why, like, if you can find a bottle from like the 70s, that's ridiculously expensive. Because one, they don't make it anymore.
But this is true. Well, because you can't get grapes from the 70s anymore. That would be awful.
You cannot. Anyhow.
So it was kind of enjoyable doing something different than beer. I mean, we do that occasionally. We've done some bourbon and some other things.
But it is still Mike's Beer Channel on YouTube. Like, subscribe, smash the notification button. But, see, this is the rough part of this video.
Ending it?
Well, no. By the time anyone sees this video, you can't find these wines now.
Well, maybe you should post it right away.
I should probably post it right away, but you can't find them. Anyhow.
Well, if you can't find it this year, be sure to remember next year.
Next year. Until next time.